Many of you might have seen the Ultimate Weapon Guide video I made a while back. In that video I covered almost all the weapons in the last story. What I was missing were the online weapons and a very specific weapon found in single player. Since then I was able to obtain all the online weapons thanks to the last story Discord, which allowed me to play online again after the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection closed for good. But I was still missing that one weapon from the single player game. I'm talking about the fabled Divine Poet. But let's start from the beginning. When I started researching for the Ultimate Weapon Guide video, the Divine Poet was the only weapon that I wasn't able to find. Many sources like walkthroughs, guides, and the wiki claim its location to be a rare drop in a specific fight in chapter 35. Specifically, they said it was dropped by one of the 3 Gurak fire sorcerers. However, there were also people claiming it was found in a chest in that same area as a question mark sword. Generally speaking, the information about it was very vague and contradictory. Some claiming it dropped as a question mark sword, some that it wasn't in a chest, some claimed it dropped in a different fight. Nobody exactly knew for sure. After having tried to farm the fight where it was supposed to drop for many hours and not even seeing the item in drop roulettes, I started believing the weapon was just a myth. Just because the wiki has the stats for the weapon, it doesn't mean it actually exists. Someone could have just made up those stats. Adding to that was the fact that the effect of the weapon was supposedly a 30% chance to inflict charm of an enemy. Charm is basically the player's version of Shade. It turns enemies into allies for a short period of time. While bosses are straight up immune to it, regular enemies are not, and that makes for a very powerful effect. So powerful, it seems strange for me that it was even real to inflict it with a 30% chance. The only other weapon that can charm enemies is the frying pan, and only with a 10% chance, which is more reasonable. Anyone who claimed to have found one or more copies of the weapon always failed to provide concrete proof of it when asked. Therefore, I came to the conclusion that it was either a myth or a weapon that is in the game's data but cannot be obtained in any way, because maybe they realized it was too powerful and removed it from the item drop roulette. That's what I thought, until a few days ago. On a Sunday morning, I received a message on Discord by the user chifuyu, who claimed to have found a weapon that could provide proof. When I asked for a picture, this is what they sent me. I cannot hide that I was very surprised when I saw it. We finally had a concrete proof that the Divine Poet really existed and it wasn't just a made up online legend. We chatted a bit on that day, trying to figure out the exact spot where it drops. I'll spare you the details, but after some back and forth, we pinpointed the location to what the many guides claimed, the 3 Gurak fire sorcerers fight in chapter 35. However, we couldn't be 100% sure of it just yet, because we couldn't reproduce the weapon dropping. But I didn't have to wait for long to have a confirmation that the location was indeed right. I'm always checking YouTube for new Let's Plays of the last story, both to see if new players get into this game, and to see if someone was randomly able to find the Divine Poet. And we got close. On Monday, November 28th, Italian Let's Player Krakow52 uploaded episode 48 of his series on the last story. After the infamous fight in chapter 35, you can clearly see the Divine Poet in the item roulette as he's approaching them to pick them up. And it's not even hidden as a question mark sword, it's right there in plain sight. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get it, but that helped me confirm that the location many sources provide is actually correct. Now, whether or not I can get it myself is another story. To this day, I believe that there are different versions of the game with slightly different drops. It would explain why some people could just get the weapon with almost no effort, and some others could never get it to show in the item roulettes. I know it's possibly not the case, but unless proven otherwise, that's what I'm going to believe. I'm not going to give up hope just yet, however. I'll go back to farming that fight and see what happens. In any case, we now have successfully confirmed the location of these 2 weapons, which means it's time to finally complete that Ultimate Weapon Guide video with all the new information. Until that happens, however, join the Discord in the description, check out my other last story videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.